Ian, just before we actually get into the game itself, younger fans these days might not appreciate it because, sadly, in a lot of people's eyes, the FA Cup doesn't seem to have quite the same importance as it did back then. But just how big was the FA Cup final back in the 80s, particularly, of course, because there was no European football at the time?
For me, like I said, as a kid, it was amazing. The FA Cup final used to be on at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it was on until 5 o'clock at night. When they used to go to the hotels to watch the players have their breakfast and the build-up, and they had all comedians come on, like Liverpool. Some would support Everton, some would support Liverpool, and I think the whole day from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock at night was absolutely amazing. That's why I used to go out when I was a kid at 5 o'clock in the day, at 5 o'clock, and pretend I was that person scoring the winning goal in the FA Cup. And like I say, my dream came true in '86. But I say now for kids, it's the Champions League, isn't it? And that's what they'll be doing. But then there's no European football for us. So the FA Cup, next to the league, the biggest one was the FA Cup. And I would go far to say when I looked at Everton were an amazing team. And I looked at Neville Southall didn't play goal for Everton. I think he broke his ankle playing for Wales.
Yeah. Against Ireland, that's right. Yeah.
I actually think, Neville Southall, for me, was the best goalkeeper in the world for about 5 or 6 years. If he was English, everyone would be raving about him because I thought, and that could have been the difference. That's how close, little things like that could have been the difference. And it gave us anyway, as a team, Liverpool, it gave us, hang on, these have got Bobby Mims in goal here. Good job they haven't got Neville Southall. So I think it gave us a boost as well.
Yeah. Carry on with you briefly, Ian. When you equalised, speaking personally, as a nearly 9-year-old Liverpudlian watching with my rabidly Evertonian father, I felt convinced Liverpool would go on to win because of the incredible record you had at the time of Liverpool never losing when you scored. Yeah. Did you feel the same when that went in?
Not the time, no. But I think looking back after, I think it is. And I think when you look at it, I remember, I think it was Gary Lineker said it was much probably the first equaliser that won the FA Cup final, because we said every time when Rushy scores, so I think it gave us a bit, but I think the opposition, you're thinking, Rushy scored, we're going to lose. So I think it's mentally like that. But for me, I thought, because we're playing Everton, you couldn't rest at all. Even though we equalised, we still had a lot of work to be done. And I was only saying, it was only when the third goal went in, I think about maybe 6 minutes to go, 2 goals, thinking, hang on, I think we got a good chance of winning this. But the equalising goal was one of them, I think, for supporters' point of view, where I'm sure a lot of people would be thinking the same as what you were.
Graeme, first half, was it a pen when Steve Nicol pulled you back?
You're a red, so you tell me.
Well, I watched it again a few days ago and it was dicey.
It was, and you can go back to, but listen, there's been hundreds of games, thousands of games where people would say this and if this had happened. But on that occasion, I thought it was, ball to the back post, about to head at Nicol, just had a little bump into me kind of thing. But these things go on. Then Bruce has a save, from a header as well, I think. So we had opportunities, and that's what I was saying in the first half. I felt we were slightly the better side. And then, as I said, there's a mistake and Liverpool get back into it. And I agree with what Ian says there. And once they go 2-1 ahead, you're thinking, this is going to be really tough for us. So, it wasn't to be for us. It was difficult. But again, I thought we did okay first half. And I think at the end of the day, we lost it and we lost the double and it was really disappointing. But, Rush is talking here about if Neville had been in goal. Listen, if Neville had been in goal as well, I think Rushy would still have scored because he always used to do it anyway. Okay. So, but no, I could understand Bobby Mims was in goal and done well. Were we a better team with Neville on the side? Yes, I would say so, but that's no disrespect to Bobby. And I think, on the day, Liverpool, won the game in the second half, and, that's what happens.
You mentioned it briefly there, and that was one of my next questions. The save that Bruce Robillard made from you at that pivotal moment at 1-1, I think there was 6 minutes between the equaliser and Liverpool going in front. It was a crucial point in the match, really. Where would you rank that in terms of the best saves made against you in your career?
Yeah, it was a great save. Listen, Bruce was capable of that. Bruce was more than capable of that. They've seen it every week at Liverpool. I just think that, I was fortunate enough to get onto the header. I thought I'd scored, but, it showed a lot of athleticism, Bruce, as he always did. And he managed to tip it over the bar. So all credit to him. But I thought, when I headed it, I thought it was in.
Yeah, so did I. And just carry on with you for this one, and then we'll move on to Ian for the final question on 86. The joint homecoming, it must have been really, really tough for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Whosever idea it was, I'd love to meet again. FA Cup finals are about winning. If you win, you enjoy the occasion. If you lose, which I've been unfortunate to do, it's the worst feeling ever. So whoever decided that was crazy. We had to go on the same plane as Liverpool the following morning, mid-morning, which is bad enough, as Liverpool are celebrating the champagne and everything else, and we kind of just sat there looking at the floor. Then to go on and go, which was wonderful for the city, don't get me wrong, that the two teams had got the final and everything else, but I just think that making us go on the second bus behind Liverpool was ridiculous. A stupid idea. Peter Reid didn't do it and got behind. And we did our best to drown us all.
Yeah, you're in the waiting room. Yeah.
As for you, Ian, it was a triple celebration, not just a few goals, but you got engaged the night before.
Yeah, did I?
I'm sure I read that somewhere, didn't I? Well, it must have been a fantastic celebration. I mean, you would have had experience of a number of homecomings already by that stage in your Liverpool career, but to do the double against Everton must have been very, very special.
I say what Sharpie said there, right? It's great if you win, but if you lose, it is a nightmare, because you're so, I think, for the supporters as well. You think you still got to do. Politically, it sounds great and all that, but I think if you're a player, it's the last thing that you want. You're getting on the plane with Liverpool players, then the buses go, and then the bus behind it was. It must have been very, very difficult. I would have found it, if it went round, I would have found it very, very difficult to cope with. But because we won and all that, it was amazing. It was amazing homecoming, and I think it was to do the double as a kid as well. When I think Tottenham in '61 had done, and someone in Arsenal in '71, and
right,
not be Liverpool in '86 to do the double. That was every footballer's dream, if they can win the double, and we'd done that. And it was amazing to say. The supporters were fantastic. But again, if you're an Everton player or that, it must have been very, very difficult.
Okay, moving on to 3 years later then. Obviously, the build-up to the 1989 final was very much influenced by the Hillsborough disaster, which happened 5 weeks before. How much did that affect your kind of preparations for a big game of this nature? Starting with you, Ian.
Yeah, obviously it was very difficult, because circumstances were completely different, and Kenny was the manager then, and he said, listen, every person is different. Some people want to train, they can train. If they don't want to train, they don't have to. So I think Kenny left it to the individual to see how it goes, and you get to a situation where we all get saying, so no, we want to go back, because we want to give these people who. We perished in this. This is one thing where we never forget. We have to move on for these people as well. So it was a very difficult situation, but it's one of them where we got in a position saying, what do we want to do? We want to go and win that cup for the people who perished and all that. And again, I thought Everton were fantastic as well. I think if it had been anyone else, I know it sounds there, but it was the city of Liverpool. It wasn't just Liverpool Football Club or Everton. It was a city, and that thing there's Merseyside it was, and that, like I was saying, in that Cup final '89, all I heard on most of the thing was they weren't singing Liverpool or Everton, they were singing Merseyside, and I think that's one thing that stands out for me.
Graeme, obviously you'd been living on, you've been playing for Everton for 8-9 years at this point, so you were very much used to the city and the way things were done here. How difficult was it for Everton, having got to the final, to kind of get you, and obviously being involved in all the commemorations and everything in those immediate few weeks afterwards. Once the game actually came around, how difficult was it to kind of get your game face on and get your competitive edge back?
Yeah, well, listen, you go to a cup final, and as I said to you before, you want to win it. First and foremost, you want to win it, and that hadn't changed. But what had changed was the circumstances, and what happened at Hillsborough, how it had affected Liverpool, how it affected the city. We were well aware of that, and what the Liverpool players had gone through, with attending funerals, which people think, well, they had to do that. That was very difficult. When you look at the way the city was and the outpouring of grief, to suddenly change from that to go and play football was really, really difficult. And as Rushy said there, the fact that Kenny gave him the option to say, listen, it's up to you what you do, that shows you, what a good manager he was at thinking that way. So people are different. But certainly going into the game, I believed I was going to play. Yeah, I wanted to play. But with a little bit of a reserve, to think, thinking all the people. But for the final to go ahead, it gave a lot of people hope and closure and everything else for the people that had perished. And it was a sad occasion. It was a sad occasion, and I think that probably the majority of the population of the UK probably got the right result. That they wanted Liverpool to win because of what had happened to Hillsborough, and no problem with that at all. But losing the final is not easy. But I'd have to say that was a really difficult final to play, and it was tinged with sadness in the events that had happened, at Hillsborough. And listen, at Liverpool winning it, and it's hopefully given something to the families back who'd lost relatives. But it was a really difficult final to play in. And again, we lost it, but it didn't feel the same losing this one as it did losing the one in '86. So it was something that they played the game. We had to go on with it, and Liverpool in the end deservedly won
it. For Ian, it was his first season back in at Liverpool, having signed for Juventus, and it was very much affected by illness and injury. So he only came off the bench with about 20 minutes to go. I'll come to Rushy in a second, but when you saw him coming on the pitch after what had happened 3 years before, did your heart sink a little bit, thinking, "Away we go again"?
Didn't happen. If it was 3 years ago or 5 years ago, you just knew what he was going to do and what he was capable of. Fabulous goal scoring record against Everton, but a fabulous goal scoring record to boot. And listen, he was always a threat, Rushy. Whether he came from the bench or whatever, you couldn't ignore him. You knew that he was always going to have a say in the way the game panned out, and that was the case again. But it just showed you what a fantastic football player he was. He'll try and tell you he was only half fit and all that. Don't listen to him. But no, listen, when he comes off the bench, whether he starts, whether he comes off the bench, he is one thing, and that's a goal threat, and proved to be the case.
Yeah. Ian, you'd had quite a serious illness during the season. Was it hepatitis or meningitis, something like that?
I had hepatitis, and also had chickenpox as well. So that was after when I came back. So I really missed a proper pre-season before. That's why I was always playing catch up.
But you played a few games in the build up to the final, hadn't you? Yeah. So when you come on, I think it was after about 72 minutes for John Aldridge. Did you feel sharp? Did you feel you could still have potentially a similar impact as what you'd had?
Well, the main what I was thinking is Liverpool to win the game. Now we 1-0 up. Aldo has scored a great goal, so I'm thinking if we could, my job was to work hard for the team so we could win this 1-0. If you get another one, great. But it was very hot, and like I say, when Stu McCall equalised, and that I was absolutely gutted because. I'm thinking, Everton are back in the game here now. There's extra time to be played, and I think maybe an extra time playing, because it was so hot on that day, both Liverpool and Everton players maybe came down 1 or 2 levels in the fitness, because they were tired, and maybe that helped me as well. So, and to get the first goal anyway, I think it gave me the confidence to do that, and it gave me more energy. And that first goal there was for me, apart from giving me more energy and all, I felt I was running around more and everything because of that. But I just feel the fitness wise and all that, we're all on the same level, and that's the reason why I scored the 2 goals.
I mean, it proved to be a classic final, one of the best finals of that decade, or probably many other decades as well. And it was a fitting tribute to everybody who was affected by what had happened at Hillsborough. How did the winning feeling compare in 89 to 86? Obviously, you still had the potential double still to come 6 days later against Arsenal.
Yeah, it was. It was different, to tell you the truth. 86 was something really, that you dream of as a kid and all that. To do the double and everything. And 89 was, yes, we won it, but we won it for the supporters, for the people of Hillsborough, and it was Everton as well. But for me, it was just something. Yeah, we still had 2 games to play against West Ham and Arsenal. But I say enjoy it while you're in the dressing room. But at the end of the day, football's always second when things like this happen. So it just puts into perspective, what it's all about. We all love playing football. Everyone, even like today, people want to see football be played, all that. But we have to look at it in a situation where, first of all, make sure everyone is safe. And then if we can play football, then to enjoy it then. And 86 most probably was more satisfying for me than 89. 89 was for the people of Merseyside.
Yeah, that's terrific. I think I've got everything I need there, Tristan. Unless there's anything else you'd like to add, or any of the lads want to say anything. I don't know if Tristan's still there, the organizer, but
all good from me.
Smash it. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks very much, lads. Stay safe, keep well, and thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.